Well, tomorrow, Americans across the nation will observe Veterans Day, a day not just of celebration, but reflection. It's a moment to honor the courage, resilience, and dedication of the men and women who have stood on the front lines for our country. And as we thank them, we must also recognize that the battles that many veterans continue to fight are actually long after their service. Approximately 7% of veterans will deal with PTSD or post-traumatic stress disorder at some point in their life. This lasting impact is why the organization Sail Ahead came about. The charity uses sailing as therapy. Well, joining us now to talk more is one of the co-founders of Sail Ahead, Sean Duclay, and Marine veteran Angel Flores. Thank you so much for joining us, gentlemen.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for your service. So I want to hear first how you decided to launch Sail Ahead, and I understand that part of it is a reminder that you've brought on set with you here.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've always been, I was raised to appreciate America's veterans and America's military. So one day when I was 14 and my brother was 16, we were getting ready to go to school, and we saw on the news that the VA had just produced a study saying that at least 22 veterans were taking their lives every day. That amounts to 220 veterans every 10 days. So here are our mates, and there are 219 name tags here. So this is a representation of every 10 days worth of suicides in the US. We're in touch with many of their families, and the idea is that the worst thing that can happen to a veteran is that they're forgotten. So we take them with us to remember, and as a call to action for civilians and veterans alike to show solidarity and help out.
And I know sometimes it doesn't translate through a television screen, but friends, this is 10 days, just 10 days of suicides. That's awful. And you know, it's not just all of these veterans that were dealing with PTSD likely, but also their family members as well. Angel, you are somebody who's been dealing with that. But first, if you can tell me about your service to our country. You were some of the first troops to deploy to Iraq. What was that like for you, going into danger, going into the unknown?
Surprisingly, when we first went into it, you don't really think about it. It's more about serving your country and serving your fellow brothers all around you. The reality of what you deal with doesn't hit you until after you get home and you have that separated time from your unit. That's when the loneliness and the sadness and the guilt and of dealing with what you have done sits in.
Wow.
You know.
And you are from New York.
Correct.
And so you ride on the subway often. The way that you lost your arm was actually not in combat, but after you got home, and the result of an incident that happened while you were dealing with your PTSD. You're waiting on a train, and what happens?
Correct. I was just dealing with my PTSD, nervous, hesitated to get on, and when I got on, next thing I know, I wake up in the hospital. You know, but it was that flashback between, you know, yes, I'm physically in New York, but my mind was back in Iraq.
Yeah.
You know, and it's weird. It's almost like walking in a dream when it happens.
Yeah. You say that you were dealing with some paranoia and feeling like somebody might have been following you, and you're trying to decide whether you should get on the train or not, and you get trapped between the doors.
Correct.
And what happens after that?
After that, I wake up in the hospital. Most of it I don't remember, but consequences, I woke up without my arm.
Yeah. So you slammed into one of the tunnels, is that right? And then ended up on one of the tracks and sort of came to enough to be able to wiggle your way down into the track.
Correct.
But one arm was still out and got hit
Correct.
by the next train.
Correct.
All as a result of PTSD.
Correct. It
Wow.
was a scary moment.
So what does this organization mean to you then, this Sail Ahead organization? When you get out on the water, how do you feel?
It's amazing. And when I first was told about it, I hesitated because it was like, oh, sailing's slow, you know, it didn't sound exciting. But once you actually get on the boat, he made it very comfortable where I felt okay to go without my bionic arm. So just as I am now.
Yeah.
And then you built teamwork so quickly and so fast, and there's enough excitement that, you know, feels that missing action that you lost when you left the military. Mm-hmm. But it's enough where it doesn't make you go too crazy, and it's such a great time, you know, and to feel that brotherhood once again, you know, that you lose when you separate. It's, you know, he's providing us with that.
Yeah, that
and it's amazing, you know, and it gives us the confidence to get back out in the world and reintroduce ourselves and become part of a community again, which is something that becomes very hard because you tend to isolate yourself when you deal with PTSD. And he found a door to open that up and, you know, allow us to meet and interact with people and, you know, be grateful.
I can see how thankful you are.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.